XEI 501 level 4 is all about manipulating equations. So you're going to see questions that look like this one, where it gives you this complicated equation with more than one variable, and it says solve the following equation for y. This type of problem follows some of the same steps. I'm going to give you the main steps that they'll follow, and every once in a while there will be something different. I'm going to go over two problems. This first one follows the steps I'm giving you. The second one doesn't quite follow it as much. So let's look at this. Step number 1, simplify both sides. Okay, so in this equation we can distribute the 5. Okay, so we're going to have 5x plus 5y plus 1 equals 2x squared minus 4y minus 1. And look to see if you can combine any like terms on each side. And we cannot. So we're going to move on to step 2. We're going to put y on one side of the equation and maybe some number, and then everything else goes on the other side. Okay, so we need to bring this 4y, and of course it's not always going to be y, it's going to be whatever variable you're solving for. In this case it's y. So we need to bring this y onto the left hand side. So we're going to zero it out on the right. Okay, so we're going to have 9y, and then we also still have 5x and plus 1, and then on the right hand side we just have 2x squared minus 1. We're still not quite to the point where we can do anything else because y is not by itself with whatever numbers attached to it. We still need to get rid of this 5x and this plus 1. So we're going to subtract 5x and subtract 1. So now we just have 9y on the left side, and we're going to combine what we can on the right. So we're going to have 2x squared. You cannot combine an x squared and an x, that's why I'm not combining those. Minus 5x, and then negative 1 minus 1 is minus 2. Okay? Next step here is we just need to divide by the coefficient, or in this case 9. Coefficient means the number that's attached to the variable. So in this case we're dividing by 9 on both sides, and remember, if we divide by 9, whatever operation we do, it happens to the whole side. So our answer is going to be y equals 2x squared minus 5x minus 2 all over 9. Now to check to make sure you're done, you can leave it like that, but make sure there are no y's on the right side or on the other side. Once there are no y's on the other side, you know you're done and that you've simplified it all the way. And so this would be your answer right here. Okay, let's look at one more. I'm going to move this up a little bit. Okay. This one, we're going to solve kind of the same way that you deal with this type of equation if there's only one variable. We want to cross multiply first. Okay. So we have 2v times 6, which is going to be 12v. Okay. 3h times 4mv is going to be 12mv. VH or HMV or whatever. Okay, we want to get all of the V's on one side. So we want to subtract the right-hand side. You can't just subtract the V part because it's all being multiplied. Okay, so on the left side now we'll have 12V minus 12MVH equals 0. Okay, and now we want to factor out the variable that we want. So this is slightly different. In this one we have to factor. So we want this variable v. Now if v is being multiplied to every term, you can pull it out like this. V parentheses times everything that's left. So a 12 was being multiplied by the v minus another 12 and an m and an h. So notice I just took a v out of every term. Equals 0. And then to get rid of this big parenthesis, we can just divide by it on both sides. Okay, that cancels there, and we've got v equals, well, 0 divided by anything is just 0. I just realized I solved for v instead of h, so I'm just going to change the problem to solve for v. If we had been solving for h, I'll do that over on this side. So obviously this is a common mistake, is to accidentally solve for the wrong thing. So let's bring this over. In this case, it's actually less steps. If we're solving for h, we're just going to divide out everything but h on this side. Okay, and so we're going to get h, because all of this cancels out, equals 12v over 12mv, and since everything's being multiplied on the top and bottom, things are going to cancel out here. If everything cancels out on the top, that's like a 1. 1 over m equals h. Okay, so there I showed you how to solve for v on the left and for h on the right. So your answer would be 1 over m. And it's okay if this is a difficult thing. It should be difficult, and we're going to revisit this in more than one skill as a level 4 problem.